Most people don't fail with money because they don't know what to do. They fail because they never actually start. Procrastination is hands down the biggest killer of wealth. It's not bad investments, it's not low income, it's just the delay of procrastination. This is because real wealth is built through compounding over time, and compounding only works if you actually take action early and consistently. The crazy part is most people watching this already know that. You know that you should be saving, investing, and getting on top of your money. But for some reason, you're still stuck and you're still putting it off and you're still not moving forward. Don't worry though, I've been there. And the good news is that once you understand what's actually driving procrastination, it becomes a lot easier to break. And there are a few simple mindset shifts that completely change the way how I approach money and honestly, how I approach my life. Before we get into it, if you're new here, I'm Sam. I'm a lawyer turned insurance underwriter and YouTuber. I started investing in property in my 20s and I built a multi-million-dollar property portfolio by my early 30s. On this channel, I break down personal finance, investing, and building wealth, hopefully in a way that actually fits into real life. So if that sounds good, stick around. Let's start with the obvious question. Why are you procrastinating in the first place? Because you can't fix the problem until you actually understand what it is. So in simple terms, procrastination is delaying something you know that you should do, even when you know it's going to make things worse if you don't do it. So it's not a knowledge problem. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that you're choosing not to do it. And that's where most people get this wrong. People think that procrastination is about laziness or not having enough time or a lack of discipline. It's actually not those things. It's emotional. And at the core of procrastination is avoidance. So you're avoiding something that feels uncomfortable. And for some people, that's looking at debt. For others, it's making financial decisions. And for others, it's a fear of just getting it wrong. And all of that comes back to fear. It's the fear of failure, the fear of making mistakes, and the fear of what other people might think, and even the fear of success. So what do you do then? Well, you delay, because delaying removes the discomfort, at least in the short term. But the trade-off is that you make your future worse. And that's the trap of procrastination. You're choosing short-term comfort over long-term progress. I did this for years myself. I procrastinated starting this YouTube channel for about 3 years, not because I didn't have time, it's because I cared too much about what other people would think. And once you realize that, it becomes a lot easier to deal with, because now you're not trying to fix laziness, you're trying to just manage these little emotions that are blocking you. So how do you actually break out of this cycle of procrastination? Well, there's a few simple things that worked for me, and they're not complicated, but they do require some action. So the first tip I can give is to just start small. The biggest mistake people make is trying to overhaul everything at once. That's overwhelming, and overwhelm leads straight back to procrastination. So instead, just start small. Track your spending for 1 week. Set a tiny savings goal. Just set something so easy that you can't avoid it. Because once you start, you just build up momentum from there. And momentum is everything. My second tip is to set clear and specific goals. If your goal is just to save more money, that's not a real goal. It's too vague to be a real goal. You need something more specific. So save $500 this month, or pay off 1 credit card by August. Clarity removes friction. So set goals like this. And when you remove the friction, it becomes much easier to act and continue acting. My third tip is to automate wherever possible. So if you rely on motivation, you're probably going to lose. Motivation is inconsistent. It's not always there for you, but systems are reliable. So automate whatever you can. Automate your savings and your bill payments, and that way progress happens whether you feel like it or not. My fourth tip is to create a simple budget. A budget doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to make things visible to you about what's coming in and what's going out. And from that alone, it gives you control, because right now, a lot of people aren't making decisions with their money. They're just reacting to whatever they have available to them. And a budget flips that, and it actually creates money for you by managing your money better. My next tip is to focus on your why. This is the one that most people overlook. Why does this actually matter to you? Is it financial freedom, or less stress, or do you want more options out of life? Because when things get uncomfortable, and they will in your journey, your why is what keeps you going. So you need to go back to that place. And without it, you'll fall straight back into procrastination. A big reason people don't start is because they're afraid of getting it wrong. But the reality is you will make mistakes. Everyone does. It's normal. The difference is people who succeed, they move forward anyway anyway and do it anyway. They don't wait until everything is perfect, because perfection is just another form of procrastination. And another thing that helps is accountability. Tell someone about your goals. Make kind of like a public statement about it and track your progress, or even just write it down somewhere where you can see it. Because once it's real, it's harder for you to ignore. And finally, consistency beats everything. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep moving forward. So if you take small steps over time, they will compound into something meaningful. So here's what I would suggest you do. Take one small step today. Don't do it tomorrow or next week. Do something today. So whether that's just something like tracking your spending or setting up the automation in your system or writing down a goal. Because the difference between people who build wealth and those who don't is that one group actually gets started and the other group just sits around waiting. So don't be the one that waits. Get up and do something today. So that's all I have time for today, guys. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and let me know in the comments as well, what's the one thing that you're going to take action on today. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.